You're listening to the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast, where we get uncooked, uncorked, and uncensored.
What is up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, the Hot Commodity Ant C, and we are back covering all things WrestleMania. We have made it to WrestleMania 18, but before we cover that, I want to make sure to remind you that every single WrestleMania from 1 to 17 is live in the archives. Check us out on YouTube. Just search the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. Subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. You'll see a playlist on YouTube for WrestleMania. Click on that. You'll see every WrestleMania recap that we have done. Also, we're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and wherever you get your podcasts. So let's dive. Let's talk a little bit about WrestleMania 18. It was live in March 2002, live in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. This is after WCW is finished. So this is kind of still in the Attitude Era, but we're about to see them kind of lean into the Ruthless Aggression era towards the end of this year. Probably, I'd say in June is when they start to edge more towards the Ruthless Aggression. But for now, we're still in that era, and I like to say that every WrestleMania is a ending of that prior year. So technically, this WrestleMania is the end of 2001 in my eyes. A new year starts after WrestleMania when it comes to wrestling storylines. So that's how I look at this. But this is the second time WrestleMania is live in another country, in Canada. First time was at WrestleMania 6 in Toronto Skydome as well. And that's also in the archives. You can find that as well, WrestleMania 6 recap. But let's talk about WrestleMania 18. We have Saliva opening up the show to perform the theme song Superstar, which is cool. Good song by Saliva. You get to see a lot of the sort of the it shows almost like it's like a montage of all of the like storylines and what's happening at this year's Mania. The entrance for this Mania, the stage was huge. It was kind of just like almost like an architecture type feel to it because there was just bars everywhere. It was a weird structure, but it was huge. And our first match to start WrestleMania 18 is for the Intercontinental Championship. The Intercontinental Champion William Regal defending against Rob Van Dam. The match starts with Regal grabbing the nuts that Rob Van Dam kicks him away. He ends up missing a frog splash. Regal nails an STF slam and gets a 2 count. Regal nails a power bomb and gets a 2. William Regal then nails a full Nelson slam, and then he grabs the brass knuckles, but Rob Van Dam nails a spin kick and hits a 5-star frog splash, and we have a new WWF Intercontinental Champion in Rob Van Dam. Although it was great to see Rob Van Dam in action, this was a weird match. Rob Van Dam pretty much didn't get any offense until the end. They kind of Hulk Hogan it and hit Regal with a 5-star frog splash. So because of that, I gave this match a 4 out of 10. Next, we have the European Championship on the line. The European Champion Diamond Dallas Page defending against Christian, and the announcers talk about how DDP drove at WrestleMania 6 last time they were in Canada, that he drove down Rhythm and Blues to the ring. Fun fact for those fans. And this was a okay match. Christian hits a low blow, and then he applies an abdominal stretch and a backbreaker. DDP nails a spinning clothesline and a sit-out power bomb, which got a 2 count. And then DDP is able to land a diamond cutter, and DDP is still our European champion. I gave that match a 5 out of 10. It was better than the opening match, but it really wasn't much of a wrestling match, just a quick match, and it didn't do much for me. Afterwards, Diamond Dallas Page says, "I'm proud of you. You didn't have a temper tantrum. That's not a bad thing. It's a good thing." And then, of course, Christian starts freaking out, starts like banging the middle of the ring. He's pissed he lost, and he throws a temper tantrum. We get a promo from The Rock. Decent work from him. Next, a hardcore champion Maven defending against Goldust here. Maven is the winner of Tough Enough Season 1. He eliminated The Undertaker from the Royal Rumble match, and now he's fighting his first WrestleMania defending the hardcore championship. Goldust attacks Maven with different weapons painted in gold. So you can see him nailing Maven with a golden shovel. Spike Dudley runs in and pins Maven and ends up becoming the new hardcore champion. So I gave that a 2 out of 10. It really didn't do much. It was kind of boring. And with the person running in like Spike, it kind of just gave it maybe not care. We then get Drowning Pool performing Tear Away as they are explaining the main event. Stephanie McMahon lied to Triple H and said that she was pregnant during the renewal vow ceremony. Triple H threw her to the mat, and ever since then, Stephanie vowed to make Triple H's life a living hell. We see Spike Dudley and Crash fight backstage. Al Snow runs into them with a golf cart. Hurricane flies in and kicks Spike to get a 3 count, and the Hurricane is the new hardcore champion. Next, we have Kurt Angle taking on the Big Red Machine, Kane. Angle hits Kane with a bell before to start the match. Angle lands a German. He nails a back suplex and applies a face lock. Kane nails a sidewalk slam, but Kurt is able to land 3 Germans. Angle lands a flying clothesline. Kane nails a big boot and a power slam and gets a 2 count. Kane choke slams Angle, but Angle gets his hand on the ropes. Angle pulls at Kane's mask and lands an Angle slam for a 2 count. Angle applies an ankle lock, but Kane's able to get out. And then Angle rolls up Kane and puts his feet on the ropes, and Kurt Angle gets the victory here. I gave this match a 5 out of 10. There was good action between both men. Kurt Angle looked great, but it really didn't do much, so I gave it a 5 out of 10. We then get a really strange segment now that we're looking at it in 2024. The Hurricane watches the Godfather's hose undress, and he's behind this almost like divider, and you could see him like playing with a broomstick, and it looks like he's like jerking off. Very strange for this to happen at WrestleMania, but there you go. It's 2002. Next, we have the special no disqualification match, The Undertaker taking on the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. This was a great match. Flair spears Taker over the table. Taker whips Ric Flair hard into the post and into the ring steps. He punches Ric Flair, causing Flair to bleed really badly in the ring. Flair chops Taker, but Taker is still able to land a superplex and a leg drop across the apron. Taker lands a side slam, but he misses a big boot, and Flair rakes the Taker's eyes, and he hits the Undertaker with a lead pipe, and the Undertaker starts to bleed. Flair punches the Undertaker in the face and lands a low blow and applies a figure 4. Taker sits up and chokeslams Flair, and he hits the referee and grabs a pipe. That's when Iron Anderson runs down and nails a spine buster to Taker, but that still gets a 2. Taker attacks Anderson, who's bleeding. Flair hits Taker in the back with chair shots, but Taker is still able to land a big boot and a tombstone, and the Undertaker defeats Ric Flair here. I give this match an 8 out of 10. Great street fight. This match would have reinvigorated Ric Flair for everybody. I was a huge Taker fan. This is 10-0. He has won 10 WrestleMania matches. Great match. Definitely check that one out. Next, we have Booker T taking on Edge. These two are fighting over a shampoo commercial. I kid you not. Booker T clotheslines Edge to the floor. It lands a missile drop kick. He also hits an Alabama slam to get a 2. Edge lands a flying heel kick. Booker T hits a side kick, a spinneroonie, and the scissors kick to get a 2. Edge lands a spear, and then Edge does his own version of a spinneroonie and an execution to get a 3 count. I gave this match a 6 out of 10. It really didn't do much for me aside from just being silly. It was a decent match to see Booker T and Edge compete, but that was really it. We see the Hurricane backstage, and Mighty Molly hits him with a frying pan to become the new hardcore champion. We have Stone Cold Steve Austin defeating Scott Hall with Kevin Nash. This match, in my eyes, wasn't really the best. It could have been better. It was just a lot of action where Austin was kicking ass. Nash got involved. Scott Hall chokes Austin in the ropes. Austin hits a spine buster. Nash attacks, and then Hall grabs a chair, but Austin hits a low blow to Nash and a stunner to both men. And then Austin tosses Scott Hall into the post and nails a stunner. And Stone Cold Steve Austin gets the win over Scott Hall. I gave this match a 5 out of 10. Definitely could have been a lot better. Next, we have the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Titles Elimination Match. The tag champions Billy and Chuck defeating the Hardy Boyz, the APA, and the Dudley Boyz with Stacy Keibler. I won't give much detail about this match. It was okay. I gave it a 5 out of 10, and Billy and Chuck get the victory after hitting Jeff Hardy with the tag titles. Hulk Hogan tells the NWO that he wants to do this alone, his match against The Rock by himself. Christian hits Mighty Molly backstage with a door and pins her to become the new hardcore champion. And now we have the match of the night, Hollywood Hogan versus The Rock. And I won't go into detail about this match. I want you to check it out. I won't tell you who wins because this is the match that I want you to see. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Great match. After the match, Hollywood Hogan and The Rock, embrace each other. Kevin Nash runs down and they yell at Hulk Hogan. They beat up Hulk Hogan. The Rock runs out, attacks the New World Order. Hulk attacks Scott Hall, and he poses with the crowd for the crowd. And it's a great moment between two legends and two Hall of Famers here at WrestleMania 18. We see the Big Show live at WWF New York. And next we have the WWE Women's Championship on the line. The champion Jazz defending against Lita and Trish Stratus. This was a great triple threat match. The women did fantastic. We saw backdrops. Lita tosses Trish into the ropes. Trish hits Lita on the top rope. And then Jazz lands a fisherman suplex to Lita to get the victory. I gave that match a 6 out of 10. Definitely, it was overshadowed by the Hollywood Hogan Rock match, but it still was a great match. We see Maven rolling up Christian backstage, and he steals Christian's cab, and Maven is the new hardcore champion. And we have made it to our main event here at WrestleMania 18. The Undisputed Championship is on the line. The Undisputed Champion Chris Jericho is Stephanie McMahon defending against Triple H, who is returning from that quad injury. This is a decent match, a lot of back and forth action. Triple H lands a knee breaker. The figure 4 is applied, but then Stephanie digs her hands in Triple H's back. Triple H ends up getting revenge, nailing a pedigree to Stephanie. He then catapults Y2J and lands a pedigree to him, and Triple H becomes a new Undisputed Champion. I gave this match a 7 out of 10. It could have been a better main event, but, all in all, this WrestleMania was a decent card. The best matches of the night were Hollywood Hogan and The Rock and Ric Flair and The Undertaker. But honorable mentions, the Triple Threat Women's match was good. The main event was decent. A lot of good stuff here. All in all, I give this WrestleMania a 7 out of 10. Our next WrestleMania on our countdown is WrestleMania 19, live in Seattle, Washington. A big night and a huge card. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, stay safe and stay uncensored.